I'm Matt with eTrailer. If you have a 2025 Ram 1500 and you have a trailer behind you that sits up a little bit higher and you want to make sure everything's nice and level, then the eTrailer 2 3/4 inch rise ball mount is going to be a great option for you. So like I was saying, this is going to be a little bit higher, and it is also going to have a 2-inch ball on it. It's also going to have a 7,500 pound towing capacity and 750 pound tongue weight. Now why that's important is, one, you need to know what size coupler they use with this, and two, knowing the weight capacity is just going to make sure you don't damage anything on your vehicle, especially your hitch. Now the difference between your tongue and your towing is just going to be with your tongue, that's going to be the downward force being applied to your ball mount, and your towing is going to be the force that's being pulled behind you. So just make sure you're in specs on either one of those. Now, what I also like is when you get this, it's going to be right out of the box, already torqued down, so you don't have to torque down anything yourself. And we're going to have this nice material to it. So this is going to be made out of steel. And with this ball, it's going to have this E-coat to it, the same with the housing. But with the ball, it's also going to have this black nickel coating on it. This is going to provide you more of a clean finish overall. I like this a little bit more than chrome. Also for the reason, if it scuffs up anywhere, kind of like right here, this isn't going to be as noticeable as with chrome. Now it is important to note, if you are hauling with a ball, just make sure you use some ball grease on this, because what can happen a lot of time is, even with this nice material, this can get scuffed up real quick if you're not using grease. And it's also going to come with a pin and clip, and that pin and clip is also going to have that same material on it, so everything has that same aesthetic. Now something I always like to point out with these is, when you remove it, this is pretty lightweight, and when we look at the inside, this shank is actually hollow. That's great because that allows us to use an anti-rattle device in here, or anti-rattle bolt. Because when you put this in here, you notice this is going to shift a little bit and move back and forth, which isn't great. So just make sure, if you're fine with that, you're good to go. Just use your pin. But if you're not fine, definitely invest in an anti-rattle device. Now, if you're ever in the rare occasion where you do need a 4-inch drop instead of a 2 3/4 inch rise, you can flip that around and just flip that ball. Just make sure you re-torque that ball down. And to make sure too that you are using this with a 2-inch receiver. Now from this point, it's good to get a few measurements just to see how this is going to live back here. So the first measurement I'm going to get is going to be how far it sticks from your back bumper. That's going to be about 5.5 inches. That's important to know because that's going to let you know how close your trailer is in relation to your truck. And then the second measurement I like to get is usually going to be the ground clearance, but with this height, you don't have to worry about that making contact with anything, because that's even going to be above your receiver. And what I'd be more concerned about is how it's going to work with your tailgate. So if I close that real quick, we'll see how close we come. And we have plenty of clearance to sit underneath there. So even if you do load your tailgate up with something pretty heavy, you're not going to make contact with that. In my opinion, I think this is a great option for someone who's looking for an economic way to haul your trailer from point A to point B. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more adjustment because maybe you haul a few different trailers, or maybe you're not exactly sure the exact rise or drop you need, or maybe the couplers you use change pretty often, then I'd recommend using the eTrailer adjustable ball mount. Because what's nice about that is, instead of having a limited just 2 3/4 inch rise, you can get that all the way up to a 6-inch rise and then all the way down to a 6-inch drop. It's also going to come with two balls. There's going to be a 2-inch ball and a 2 5/16 inch ball. So you're going to have plenty of options to work with. But that's also going to be a little bit more premium at a higher price point. So if you know exactly what you need and you're only going to be hauling with one trailer, then this is going to be the more affordable and better way just to haul with. But that's just our look at the eTrailer ball mount on our 2025 Ram 1500. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.